Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
I'll start first with just a brief introduction of the Dataverse, and then I'll do a live demo of the new Astronomy Dataverse network. So the Dataverse network is a web application that enables organizations and institutions to set up a data repository where you could follow then all professional archiving standards, such as following metadata standards, supporting Dublin Core and DDI, supporting metadata exchange protocols like OAI PMH, Z3950 for being able to search data from other systems, metadata from other systems to the metadata in the Dataverse, and additional reformatting standards. So that's the top Dataverse network, but then the researchers interface with the software by creating their own Dataverse, and the Dataverse is their own archive where they can deposit the data, but they can also brand it, control it, and decide what terms of use they want for the data, what permissions, if they want to restrict some part of the data or not. So that's actually an important point, that they don't need to worry about the central repository that will take care of all the archiving and preservation, but they can still control the data sets and collections of data. And then within a Dataverse, can create either collections of studies or just a set of studies by themselves. And each study has a data citation with a persistent identifier that the data citation is generated automatically when you create the study, and it registers a handle in the handle.net so that then it can be referenced in a persistent way. And a study itself contains the metadata and the data files. And the data files have added value by having just automatically reformatting the data that is uploaded, also providing some subset of the data sets, analysis, statistical methods that you could apply to the data sets. Just recently also some visualizations with time series charts. And all these now exist for quantitative data sets, and specifically if you upload an SPSS file or an SData file, mostly used in social science, it will do all those things for you automatically. So basically the Dataverse network is a solution for connecting publications to data sets, but it also allows you to publish data sets without a publication, or providing a data management plan for when you're working on a research with other collaborators. And all these it does, it's through the linkage between the publication and the data sets, it's through the formal data citation. So for just being in tune with the theme of the workshop, for the last 4 years, the Dataverse has helped to transform social science by allowing researchers in that domain to upload the data sets and be able to, create the Dataverse and be able to cite that data. There's been rows of Dataverses created by scholars, and also studies, and each study might have multiple, from 1 to 100 data files, basically. So this is what has happened with social science. Alisa yesterday in the reception was pointing out that it took astronomers about 4 or 5 years to adopt IDS. And just is curious that it's about the same amount of time is making this, also this success within social science. So what's next and what we're doing now is starting to transform the astronomy community. And I'm looking also at Tim because the next thing is also the biology, the life sciences and biology community. But for the live demo, I will show the Astronomy Dataverse network. This is a work in progress, but with already some data, real data. So the way that started is about a few months ago with Elisa's group, including Alberto Pepe, Gus Munch, and Chris Ehrman, and Gary King, the director of the IQSS, and myself said, well, we could just plan for months what else the Dataverse software needs to support astronomy data, or we could just do it and put it all together with what we have now and see that it's already something valuable and then add more later. So we went with let's do it attitude, and we basically went talked to 10 groups of astronomers in the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, and did interviews and get the data story, figure out what type of data they had, what they were doing with it now, and if they were ready or they were supportive of depositing into a data repository like that, and be the first the initiators of the Astronomy Dataverse. And everybody, was a lot of enthusiasm, everybody was on board. Since then, we've created a few dataverses. I'm going to show one in particular. As I was saying, every dataverse is branded and can be either embedded into a website or rendered as you wanted. This one is a dataverse that contains data about star-forming regions. It is data collected from various observatories at different wavelengths. And it's with various collaborators. If you go through it and you say, for example, interested in infrared data, see if I find one of the the iris, maybe thermal emission, or wanted to show the spicer maybe. So I go to, sorry about the resolution, it's hard to show everything in the screen, but I go to a study that has data from this infrared space telescope, and I can see first the citation that has been generated, so that it can be referenced from the publication. The handle that it has registered. Again, this is just a work in progress. It's not, when this study was created, was not yet registered in handle.net, but now with the new studies we create, they are registered automatically. And it has the authors and other metadata. You can see that some of the metadata here is added in the abstract, and in part it's because there is not a lot of yet domain-specific metadata for astronomy, because the initial metadata the Dataverse had was for mostly for social science metadata, but this is something we're working right now and expanding with astronomy and the bio group too. But then you can look at the data files, and in this case have feeds files and an image. Right now, this is not adding additional value to the feeds files, but it's also something similar to what we've done with social science data sets, that we've added reformatting and visualizations. The same thing can be done with feeds files or other files in other domains. It has user comments and versions. If I go back to here and I want to say, I want to look at some other, see if I can do that fast, which one? Some other data from the hydrogen the neutral hydrogen line, 21 centimeter line. I can see that here, in this case, there are a couple of versions that had been created. So the Dataverse supports versioning, so that everything that changes either in the metadata or the data files is recorded, and it is saved. You can go and actually look at the archived version if you want. And I think really have to finish here very soon. You can see the difference between these versions, and you see what it had changed in the metadata. I just want to make a final point. There is a lot more to show, because there is the whole part of how the administrator would be able to set permissions, set terms of use, and manage the data, add new studies and new files. It's a little bit long to show everything in a few minutes, but just want to make the point that, so this was the original website for this project, for Complete, that had a table with links to the data that was in a personal website. So by moving all these data sets into a Dataverse, what we've gained now is, again, having a central archive that has all the metadata standards, all the, it takes care of preserving that data, but at the same time, the researchers can still embed their own Dataverse in the website and still have, promote that and have the visibility, the recognitions, and have persistent citations to the data. Just want to mention at the end that we could add a lot more into the data set, the visualization of data sets, or the ways to discover data sets within a Dataverse. One of the things that could be added is also with the Worldwide Telescope, see how you can find the data there and then point to the data sets in the Dataverse. So, thank you.